stream? C'est streamé? Ok, pas de problème. Boubou. Bou. Bou. Non, mais écoute, on peut en ligne. Mais c'est Philippe qui parle aussi, hein. C'est pas, y a pas que moi qui parle, hein. Ah bah, j'ai l'impression que ça se grille. Il y a personne qui fait ça. Trois. Un, 2, 3. Un, 2, 3. C'est bon. Ok. Pour Philippe. Ouais. C'est toi qui. Oui, c'est toi qui as introduit, hein. Tu as fait un petit. Ça va. Hallo, aangenaam. Jawel, Mac. Nog één, Filip. Amai, amai. Hm. Je me prends encore un coca. Allô,
Ça va? Voilà.
ça va?
Bien.
Si tu veux, éteins avant que ça commence, parce que là on t'entend dire
Bisous, bisous.
hello, bisous.
So we'll be starting in about 2 minutes, as soon as Ricardo starts the streaming. If you are here for the Rust meetup, for the programming Rust meetup, you are in the wrong meeting. It's upstairs, Rust. Neil Young, never dies. Hey, hey, hi, hi. Okay. So we will be starting as soon as Ricardo launches the streaming, and then we'll move on. The streaming is ready? Okay. So very warm welcome to you all. My name is Philip Van Impe. I'm the co-founder of this space, which is called Digitizer. In a few words, Digitizer is the clubhouse of the tech communities in Brussels. The idea is that all the tech communities needed a space to work or to meet or to create or co-create or to do a workshop or follow a class or give a class or do a hackathon. And that space, well, that's now Digitizer. We are grouping different communities. The main communities are all communities about artificial intelligence and data. There is a community around virtual reality and augmented reality. There is a community about IoT, and one about blockchain. And this is a blockchain event tonight. So the objectives of tonight will be all about learning how it works and learning by doing. This is also the objective of Digitizer. We want to facilitate and to promote digitalization of the people of Brussels by allowing them to follow classes and do exercises. This is one of our objectives. The other objective is also to facilitate entrepreneurship, meaning that when somebody has an idea, we want to help him to make from his original idea maybe a business, or at least to check it out and to allow him to meet people. So this is a huge meeting place. Over the past 12 months, we had over 250 events, and over 3,000 people came here to do one of these activities, classes, and so on. So if you are very technical, this is a place where you could meet somebody who is less technical, more business-driven maybe. Or if you are business-driven, this is a place where you could meet somebody who is very technical, so that you can build a solution. So concerning this, the exercise of tonight, this is really a hands-on workshop. It's in garage format. So the idea is that we will leave PowerPoint slides behind for once, and we want to start doing things. We want to see what and how you can create a virtual currency. But we also want to start a discussion with you and work and play the game about discussion on how are we going to implement it? Why are we using this currency? Does it have to be a fixed price or not? How are we going to use it for our sponsors, so that they can give you an amount of money to the cooperative, and then we can distribute it? Or are we going to use it to promote innovation? Are we going to use it to drink beer? Are we going to use all these questions, things that we will be talking about? The interesting thing about it is that there is no right answer. So if the group decides to go in one direction, and I cannot convince you to do it in the other direction that I had in mind, it's your decision, basically. Yeah. But I would really like to have a coin that is used with all the different technical communities in Belgium, and that we can share time and share use the coin to benefit for whenever the idea becomes a commercial element. So without further ado, I will pass the word to Jean. Jean has the experience in building blockchain. He started the Belgian Bitcoin organization, so he's been there from the early days. He's one of the lucky ones who managed to buy some Bitcoins at when they were not expressed in euros yet. So this is Jean Mac.
Okay, thank you. So actually we had a small chat a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and Philippe asked me, I would like to have a kind of a coin to be able to, and instead of euros, that people would be able to pay and exchange the services in that coin. And I told him, if you keep it simple, guess I can do it in 2 hours. I can create a coin. It won't be a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, but it will be a coin existing on a public blockchain. And basically, if I give you some of the coin, then you are really owner of this coin. I can take it back. So one of the concrete use cases that Philippe wanted to have is we are at the bar, and you want to pay for your beer, and you don't want to have people pay in euros, but pay with a crypto currency, or at least a currency which is on a blockchain. And so that if you pay the bar, then you just scan the address of the bar, and the money gets into it. Another challenge for him was to say, well, I don't want this to be Bitcoin, because I told him, but just ask people to pay in Bitcoin, then but then the price of Bitcoin is moving. And then I referred him to a kind of asset-backed tokens. I don't know whether a few of you guys know Tether or True USD. And so basically we will create the equivalent, but then specifically for Digitizer. And so in 2 hours time, I was able to create this coin. So the basic idea of such a coin is that at a given time, you have some trust in the system. It's not a purely crypto, but so you have, here I have €1, and it's 100 cents. So I put the 100 cents in the bank, and if you know a little bit of accounting, then it means that you have 100 cents in your account. And then you write 100 coins, which are actually kind of thing saying I owe you the money if you present me the token. So let's say I've collected the 100 cents, okay, and now I will create the token. And this I want to make on a public blockchain, not a private blockchain. Could be on a private blockchain, but I want it to really exist on a blockchain. And actually, you would have then, in theory, to create a smart contract and publish it to the thing, and it would be difficult. But actually, what I want to demonstrate to you is that you can do it with off-the-shelf software. One of the one of the thing is to use here the site Token Factory netedfly.com, which allows you to create a token by saying what would be the amount of token you want to create, give him a name, giving decimal places. That's because it's working on the Ethereum platform, and I'm using a standard which is not very important here, but which is a ERC20, which requires things to be expressed in units and then with decimals, and then a symbol, and then you push create. Now, to ease a little bit the process, I have already created a coin, and this coin does exist on the blockchain, on the Ethereum blockchain. And it's called Digitizer Coin Test 2. Why the name test? Because I didn't want to spoil the name that would have existed on the blockchain forever. So I called it test, and I put a 2 because I just screwed up the first time, and so I had to do a second iteration. And this coin is existing at the address. So it's the address of the smart contract that has been created on the first page, which is just a kind of, without using technical terms, is the the thing managing the coin. And you see that the total supply is 100 units. So this coin exists. I was fully owner of it, and today I distributed some of them, and you can see here that I sent at a given time. The name of the coin is the abbreviation is Digitizer Coin Test 2. I just put the address of this smart contract in this part on the left, on the right, sorry, which is only a kind of a wallet. I simplify, it's MetaMask. And you see that I made a few transactions whereby if I look at the balance that I have today, I still have .75 so it's 100 with 2 decimal places, so it's .75 Digitizer Coin 2 on my account. Now, where is the balance? But the balance is in another tool, which is off the shelf, which is, well, I just Googled, and it's called Cypher. And Cypher is just an application which allows you to take those type of contracts that are very easy to create and that are very standardized. It's called ERC20, the same standard. Yeah, and then you say you give once more the address of the smart contract, and it's in small type, but you can see that the balance is just here. It's written in the small 0.25. Okay, so far so good. Now I would say that this is the bar, and I want to have my Coke, and I want to pay for my Coke. Easy, easy. I go here I always have detail. So I get an address which is expressed into the form of a barcode or a QR code. Okay, so I will do it on my screen. Oop. But basically, what I do, I say, I go there, I say, I want to send from this wallet to this address that I will scan, and I will give an amount of digit Ether coin that I want to pay to the bar. Okay, so I say that, I scan here. Oop. Okay, it got the address, and I say that I want to send 0.05 digit Ether coin test 2 to the bar. I say continue, and so then it will propose me to send, and he also asks me to pay some gas for the transaction. So we are working on the Ethereum platform. So it's a platform that is processing smart contracts for you. People have to do some work to do this, to execute and maintain the consensus about those smart contracts. So you have to pay them. Now, he proposed me. Just crashes. That's also reality of today. Okay, he proposed me to authenticate. I say I pay, and the balance is not .25 but .2. So it took out 0.05 and put it on the okay. And then after some time, because we are on public blockchain, so it takes time to have the transaction to be accepted by the public blockchain, it eventually be on my account up there. So far, no more thing to do. So it's very buggy. I tell you, it's 2 hours work. It says failed transaction, but usually it still works. Okay, 1 minute ago, view on a touch scan, and it's a success. So I can see that the transaction has been accepted by the network. So in theory, hey, I get here, you remember it was .75 and now it's .80. So basically that's the bar, and let's say I'm the owner of the bar, and I say I want to get some of my money back. Then I could sell my token to the bank that will give me the euro, because the bank has got some of the money. So basically, by doing so, we have created a currency which is stable because it has an equivalent in euro, and it's ensure without any possibility of fraud, ownership of the coin. So if you think about it, there are many local currencies. I don't know, in Brighton there is one in UK, I think, and there are local currencies. Basically, we reinvented the whole technical part of those type of currencies on the blockchain, and the only requirement is that you pay some Ether to pay for the transactions. Is that clear for more or less for everyone? So basically, it's no rocket science. That's really the basic of of creating a coin on a blockchain, not a cryptocurrency with mining, etc., but a coin which represents an asset which are euros. Now you can have here we have a fixed amount of coins. You can be more sophisticated, create a variable amount of coins, allow for creation of new coins, allow for destruction of coins that are not anymore used. You could also have a monetary policy which would be different, which would say to get one coin, you have to pay 1 cent. And in the system, if you go back and you say, here is my account, the person will give you one cent in exchange. You could have a situation, and some people, system of local currencies says, no, I give you only 0.09. And so you are encouraged to stay in the system and spend your coins instead of redeeming it for cash. So, and if you do that, you have another monetary policy, if you want. Your money is losing value, and then you encourage another type of behavior, which is exchanging it with people in the local economy instead of keeping it for yourself. So this system is working as long as we are totally sure that that I cannot, create new coins and not have the 100 euro or the 100 cents in my pocket. Otherwise, I would just create new coins, pay for the beer, but there is no real money in the bank, so to say. And then you would be in a situation where someone asks to be reimbursed, and there is no money for reimbursing him. So in theory, if we do that, we should have an auditor that constantly checks that the amount is in the bank. And this is basically what Tether, for those who know Tether, does not do very convincingly, is they never quite fully prove that they have enough dollars to cover the token that represent dollars that they have emitted. And there are other, like TrueUSD, which are somewhat better to it. But okay, this is a very simple currency that we can implement. I think what I can show with this is that the technicality is simple, but then I give back the word to you and to Philippe. First is what do we want to do it? So I can avoid manipulating coins at the bar very easily, but I guess we have also other use cases that we want to implement with this. But before that Philippe takes the word, are there questions about this demo? Yes.
Can we do a capital raise once the chain is closed? So now we are at 100. Let's say we need more cash, more units because we consume too many beers, and otherwise we can, let's say 100 is equal to €1. We need to have more cash in system. Can we increase?
Sure. This is a system where there is no minting. So this site is Token Factory does not allow the amount of coins to be changed. But you can perfectly have a coin where one responsible person can, because I was the responsible person creating the token, but you can have a situation where you allow this person, the smart contract would be very easy, saying the owner of the contract can't mint money. And let's say that you say, yes, no, it's Jean, I give you, I trust the system that the owner here, Jean, can raise the money. Okay, so we say 200 token, but what you normally would have to check is that I do that only if I have 200 in the bank. But yes, and you can even have system where you can destroy money. It's more sophisticated. It was not doable in 2 hours time. But basically, if you go to ethereum.org, one of the very first example is create your own coin, and you have minting and burning of coins, which is foreseen. And there you can do the full thing where you develop the smart contract, you see the smart contract, and you can actually you can see, if I'm not mistaken, the smart contract here. If I go to Etherscan, and I go to this, to the address of this, you see the so Etherscan is just a kind of browser on the blockchain, on the Ethereum blockchain. Okay, and you see that Digitizer Cointest 2 does exist there. It's not fake, huh? It's really on the blockchain, huh? It's really there. And you see that in total there has been 6 transactions. Okay, and you can see the code that has been the code of the smart contract is here. Just this code is so simple that it doesn't allow for creation and destruction of money. That's the reason why. But you could do more sophisticated. Basically, some people are tokenizing gold, diamonds. I'm tokenizing things in the energy sector. It's basically a variation around this theme. And what I wanted to show is that the tools are there to just scan, pay, etc. Exactly. And the question, so if you want to tokenize diamonds, you have to maintain credibility that you have as many diamonds that you have token representing diamonds. Basically, it boils down to that. I'm doing it in another sector, in the energy sector. I won't go into detail. We are tokenizing something and we prove at every time, but it's trust. Huh? At that level, there is trust that we are not creating more tokens than the underlying asset.
I think for diamonds, you want to have non-fungible tokens. So in this case, with money, it doesn't matter if you have €1 that is a bit torn or a bit used and a new one. That doesn't matter. They are the same. They're exchangeable. But for diamonds, you don't want that.
Could be, indeed, could be. In my case, in the thing I'm tokenizing, it's definitely a non-fungible token. So to make it simple, a non-fungible token, it's like a CryptoKitty. For the people who know it, it's something which has very specific characteristics, which are not the same as another one. So it is this building, this apartment in this building, and it's not the apartment next door, because the apartment next door maybe is smaller or has one room more, etc. So it's a specific. But you can do it fungible, so that's the idea, where one unit is equal to the other, or you can do it non-fungible when the good is very specific. But I think in the case we are speaking here, the idea of paying services to each other, paying beer, etc., is more similar to a fungible. That's the reason why I took it. But you can very easily create a non-fungible token. I think there are also sites. I haven't looked in detail, but I'm also almost sure you have sites that allow you to create non-fungible token with a push of a button. Other questions?
Jean, I have this question on the audit.
Yes.
How does that work? Who audits it? You just do what you take the link that you had and then you look at it, but how do you audit it?
But it would be very easy. Then the auditor would come and say, "Show me if you have 100." So he would look. He would look at the blockchain. No, it can have its own blockchain, etc. Or it would go. Basically, he would go here, or he would go more precisely here to say that okay, the total supply of the coin is 100, and then he would say, show me the money. Show me that you have 100. So that if someone is redeeming a coin, you can show that you have the money. So basically, it's showing like the equivalent. So if we have here, show me that it's equal.
So he looks at the bank account.
It looks at the bank account, or at the in the box.
Register,
Huh?
He sees 100,
and he
looks
sees
there. He sees 100, and that's the audit.
That's the audit.
The transactions in themselves
Are
that
full.
have happened are fully auditable, but I mean it's fully safe. You can't
Those are fully safe. Those are fully safe. Those are on the blockchain. So, less someone is able to crack the blockchain, you can consider that it's safe. So you could do some tricks, a double spend, etc. I won't go. So the transaction is really saved after a few minutes. But for the bar, it would be okay. But basically, because it's a public blockchain, it's decentralized, it would be very, very, very costly and difficult to say that, no, I have the coins, no, you have the coins, I gave it to you, no, it's not true. It's written on the blockchain. I can show you the, so if I take here a transaction I did, so at the given time, I sent 0.1 coin to another address. So you recognize the address of the smart contract, it's here, Philippe, and you see that my address sent to this address this amount of coins. It's written in the blockchain forever. So it's fully safe.
How do we calculate profits? So how are we going to account for profits? Because if we buy a beer for €1 at the brewer, let's say, and we sell them here for €2, we have like a 100% margin. And in fact, what we could do is we could push our taxes forward if we do by keeping it on the blockchain, because no auditor is going to calculate each transaction. They're just going to look at the final and the beginning amount, and if we keep our profits within the system, we don't pay taxes on it. Or am I wrong?
Go ahead.
For the moment, what the blockchain does, it just replaces the cash register that we have. Yeah. So that cash register does not calculate profit and things like that. It's just totalization of the money coming in. That's the amount. I think we have to keep it like that for step one, because I can imagine that if you want to calculate profit, then you will have to know what the cost of that beer was, and then you have maybe based on your profile have a special cost of 12% or 15% that you will add for the service, depending on your but that will make a smart contract that is very complex.
This is not what we try to solve here, but
the system that we're building, it's an internal system that is not taxable for outside. No one will know that. No one will see that. Yeah, but the transaction itself, if I sell a
No,
beer
no.
for
If I go to the bar, and I pay, and I put in the cochon, huh? The money, which is basically what you do when you scan and pay. Okay, there is no recording of this. There is no recording. Yeah, which may be an issue, because if you know my address, you'll see that I spend a lot of money on the account of the bar, which is not what I'm supposed to do in the day, which is one of the problem of the blockchain. No, I could have two addresses to avoid that, or many addresses. That's what we do in the blockchain world. In the Bitcoin world, every transaction is with a new address, and you manage 1,000 addresses. It's on a computer, so what's the heck? So yeah, there are some issues. But to get back to your point, it's just we get a much better traceability of what's going on, even up to the point of being too transparent compared to cash.
Now, concerning the beer has been consumed, so therefore you should pay tax on the profit you've made on the beer. That's fine. Imagine now a second example where you give me 15 minutes of your time, I give him 12 minutes of my time, and then Yanael comes and he can, with 2 minutes of his time, everything is solved. And we want to play with that time that we share amongst us. That time, it's so immaterial that I think we should, you could delay the taxes you are going to pay on it. You don't have to send an invoice on that time. It's just like it's bartering, yeah. You give me 15 minutes, I give him 12, give another 2, and I keep 1 minute for me. So,
if I may say so, Ludovic is keeping a list of resources on local currency. One of the resources is a book that I have on local currency systems that are used in particular in France. And in France, they say, as long as it is not really professional, they allow this échange de services without taxes being levied on it. But it's because, but they are very specific. It cannot be professional services. So we would have to cast this as something which is not really professional, but I mean social of, I don't know whether there is a specific legislation for Belgium. I'm inferring what is done in France. They have a special law saying as long as you do that, because it's actually bartering, and you could say, it's a transaction like another one, a financial transaction like another one, and you could say, well, but you have to pay taxes on that. But they say as long as it is not really professional services that would have been paid via an invoice, etc., it's good enough. So we would need a lawyer to help us a little bit to set the correct frame about this.
But imagine that that I use your services in the end to create a product that I will sell. There will be tax on that, because I'm going to send. You now gave me 30 minutes and then I sell it for 500 euros. I will be taxed on those 500 euros. So what we need to understand here, and I don't understand it yet, is that enough? Because I've sold my services. I sold the product that we all built together. Everybody built a little bit, but I sold it. But we pay taxes on it. There is an entity paying taxes on it.
Well, in theory, yeah. At the end of the day, you should account in your accounting the fact that you have coins and that those coins have value and that you have made a transaction. Actually, at the Belgian Bitcoin Association, we do not have a bank account. We only have bitcoins, a wallet with bitcoins. It doesn't prevent us to do our taxes, because for the small talk, we collected the the fees, the membership fees in bitcoins. We never used them, and so we got rich because just leaving money, even at 6,000 euro by Bitcoin, it's still money. But so we have to pay taxes, and when it was
Can
very at, at a given time, even if we are a VZW, you a VZW have to pay taxes on their patrimonium somehow. I was not aware of that, and so the accounting said, "Well, maybe you are liable of taxes." But so then, no, the